Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be ranking the top 10 running backs in the NFL heading into the 2023 NFL season. The running back position is especially tough to rank because there are a lot of different ways a running back can impact the game. Beyond his pure rushing ability, the ability to pass protect and catch the ball out of the backfield are big indicators of a running back's value. All of these traits will be taken into account in this ranking. The running back position is also very stacked as most teams have a good to great running back, so there'll be guys who don't make the list that are deserving of making the list. Also for the record, this ranking will be mostly my opinion, with a few stats to back up my thoughts, and will contain some projections into next season. Just to be clear, this is not a fantasy football ranking. This is who I think are the best football players at their running back position. Of course, subscribe and like the video to show that you want to see content like this in the future, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. Without further ado, let's get into the ranking. Before we get into the top 10, I want to throw out two honorable mentions that were close but didn't make my top 10. The first being Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Jones is an amazing dual threat rusher with big playability and short yardage effectiveness. For the third time in his career, Jones was a 1,000-yard rusher in 2022, while also gathering 395 yards through the air. Again, the running back position is really stacked, and I was surprised to see how many running backs that were better than Aaron Jones. Jones fell in my rankings for a few reasons. His red zone role has been reduced with the emergence of A.J. Dillon. He has a fumbling problem, as he's fumbled 5 times last season and lost 3 of them. And the overall production of the Green Bay offense next season will take a step back with Jordan Love in at quarterback. Aaron Jones may have more of a role as a receiver with a young quarterback, but the offense won't be able to generate consistent big plays, which limits Jones' ability to gather more touches. My second honorable mention is Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints. Kamara was a beast with Drew Brees under center, and while he has never eclipsed 1,000 yards in his career on the ground, he hasn't had a season under 1,300 scrimmage yards due to his elite ability as a pass catcher and his run-after-the-catch ability. Kamara is facing a lot of uncertainty, though, heading into next year, as he has pleaded not guilty to battery charges involving him injuring a man in Las Vegas. Kamara might receive a lengthy suspension, but in a world that Kamara is able to suit up next season, it is likely that he will continue to dominate both through the air and on the ground, especially with the upgraded quarterback from Jameis Winston to Derek Carr. Getting into the top 10, at the number 10 slot is Joe Mixon of the Cincinnati Bengals. Mixon is another guy with uncertainty heading into next season, as he is also in legal trouble for aggravated menacing, but when he is on the field, Mixon is an elite runner with some pass-catching chops. Throughout his career, Mixon has never dropped below 4 yards per touch, and he is one of the better blocking running backs in the league. Mixon is a bell cow back for Cincinnati, as in the last 5 seasons he has averaged over 15 carries per game. Mixon is in a prove-it year with the Bengals, as he was a cut candidate entering the offseason, but received another chance with Cincinnati. With no legitimate backup after the loss of Samaje Perine in free agency, Mixon will be primed for a massive volume season, where he should be able to keep up his efficiency. At the number 9 spot, I have Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys. Pollard is not an effective blocker, but he has some of the best breakaway speed and agility at the running back position. Last year, Pollard proved to be the answer for Dallas at running back after eclipsing 1,000 yards on under 200 carries, elite production out of the backfield. Pollard shines as a receiver, where he put up a monster 9.5 yards per catch. Pollard has also proved that he has stability at running back for Dallas, playing all but 1 game last season and not coughing up a fumble. Without Ezekiel Elliott on the roster, the Cowboys have shown that Pollard is their guy, and with not much depth at the position, Pollard should be primed to get more carries, yards, and touchdowns than last season at the same efficiency. At the number 8 spot, I have Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders. What a breakout year for Josh Jacobs last season. He had a truly remarkable year, turning himself from a cut candidate to a franchise running back. Jacobs carried the ball 340 times for a career-high 1,653 yards and 12 touchdowns, while also adding 400 yards as a receiver. Jacobs isn't known for being a receiver, but his elite power style of running and average blocking ability make him a top 10 running back. Efficiency has been an issue for Jacobs throughout the start of his career, but he proved that narrative wrong, averaging 4.9 yards per carry in 2022. Jacobs is one of the best pure rushers in football, and with another elite season, he will surely jump up this list. At number 7 is Austin Ekeler of the Los Angeles Chargers. Ekeler is the best red zone threat at the running back position in the NFL, leading the league in touchdowns last season with 18, 13 of those on the ground and 5 through the air. Ekeler is a good runner, averaging 4.4 yards a carry throughout his career, but his calling card is his pass catching, amassing 107 receptions for 722 yards in 2022 ranked 5th in the league behind the league's best receivers and tight ends. Ekeler has chops as a pass blocker, he's built like a wrecking ball and is willing to protect his franchise quarterback Justin Herbert. Ekeler has proven to me among the best at running and catching the football, and I don't see why that won't continue heading into 2023. At number 6, and I may be jumping the gun on this guy, but it's Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. Bijan has not played a snap in the NFL yet, so he'll need to earn this ranking, but his skills and ability are up there with the best in the game already. Bijan proved he's an elite rusher and receiver at Texas early on in his career, averaging 8.2 yards per carry as a freshman. Bijan, though, broke out as a senior, when he put up 1,580 yards and 18 touchdowns on 258 carries and caught 19 passes for 315 yards, an astounding 16.5 yards per catch. Bijan's incredible agility and speed rivaled those of a young Saquon Barkley, and his in-between-the-tackles running rivals some of the best of all time. Above all, Bijan is a smart runner. His patience and football IQ show up on tape constantly. Bijan should immediately become a bell cow runner behind a great run-blocking offensive line, and he has the versatility to move out and play slot receiver, so the Atlanta offense should be very potent with guys like Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London at their skill positions. At the number 5 spot, I have Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. 2 years ago, Taylor took the league by storm, putting up over 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns, while also catching 40 passes for 360 yards and 2 touchdowns. This effort was enough for Taylor to be second in Offensive Player of the Year voting, only behind Cooper Kupp. Taylor had high expectations coming into last season, but injury derailed the season. Even in the 11 games he played, Taylor was obviously hampered with injury, dropping from 5.5 to 4.5 yards per carry. Taylor has had fumbling concerns, giving up the ball 3 times in 2022, but coming into next season, we can expect Taylor to be fully healthy, and with a more run-style offense under new coach Shane Steichen and rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson, he should return to his elite production. At the number 4 spot, I have Derrick Henry of the Tennessee Titans. Henry may be leaving his prime in the upcoming years, but he is still an elite rusher. Henry quietly had a monster season in 2022, rushing for over 1,500 yards and 13 touchdowns. Henry is the only spark on a bad Tennessee offense, so he is often force-fed the ball, which leads to less efficiency, as he rushed for 4.4 yards per carry in 2022. This may be Derrick Henry's last year of elite production, but with no other option for Tennessee on offense, Henry will once again be asked to carry the load, which he has proved to be more than capable of doing. At number 3, I have Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants. What a bounce-back year Saquon Barkley had in 2022. Barkley burst onto the scene as a rookie, rushing for 1,307 yards, catching 91 passes for 720 yards and amassing 15 touchdowns, which was enough to earn him the Rookie of the Year award in 2018. Since Barkley has been injury-prone, not playing a near full season until 2022, where he played 16 games and returned to his elite production, Barkley's efficiency wasn't as good as his rookie season, but he has been handcuffed to one of the worst offensive lines in the league, which leads to many negative plays. Beyond Barkley's game, he's a great leader for the Giants. Oftentimes, running backs aren't leaders on the field and on the sidelines, but Barkley seems to gather his offense better than most. Saquon should continue to produce at a great level with an improved offense and a developing offensive line. Before we get into the top 2 backs, most of my viewers haven't subscribed and turned on post notifications, so if you haven't, please do so. It means a lot to me and helps me churn out more videos. Also, like the video and comment any topics you want me to discuss in the future. It helps the video do well in the YouTube algorithm and helps me grow my following. With that being said, let's get into the top 2. At number 2, I have one of the most underrated running backs in the league somehow, and that is Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. Chubb's an elite back with a great mix of power, finesse, and receiving prowess. Last year, Chubb carried the ball 302 times for 1,525 yards and 12 touchdowns, while also adding 292 yards and 1 touchdown through the air. Chubb's numbers are enough to argue that he's elite, but when you watch him on the field, it is amazing how easily he breaks tackles and runs by defensive backs at his size. Playing behind one of the best offensive lines doesn't hurt Chubb, but his yards after contact were only behind Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry in 2022. Factoring in that Chubb is more versatile than both of those players and has much better big play ability, Chubb ranks higher for me, especially because he's only 5'11", rivaling some of the biggest rushers in the league. And at number 1, for me another easy pick like in the quarterbacks video, I have Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. McCaffrey is easily the most versatile running back in football and possibly in NFL history. McCaffrey is one of the best pure running backs in the league, both between and outside the tackles, and at the same time, he acts like another receiver for Kyle Shanahan's offense. There isn't much more I need to say about McCaffrey because his game speaks for itself. He is a smaller running back, but he breaks tackles at an amazing rate and is one of the most elusive running backs in the league. McCaffrey should produce at league-leading capacity again in 2023, the only detractor from his game being if he gets injured, because nothing else will stop McCaffrey from being the best running back in the NFL. And with that, that is the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe for more content like this. Comment down below what you want to see in the future, and like the video so I can see you like the content. I'll be posting a video like this for wide receivers, so if you guys want to see that, definitely subscribe with post notifications turned on so you don't miss that video. So with that all said, thank you guys, and peace out.